Hey, in this chapter, I want to talk about caveat with the physical lighting workflow. So the physical lighting workflow is amazing if you have just a day scene or just a night scene, but it gets really tricky when you have interiors and exteriors in the same space, and I'll show why. Because we are using this much higher range than normal, so when we go to an interior place like this one that apparently looks like it's not receiving any directional light, so this is happening because the camera is exposed to the bright world outside, because it's very very bright here, but we exposed our camera for this situation here. So what happens when we drop a point light? Nothing. Like you see, it doesn't even register, it doesn't even show up, it's not even there. And right now it's at 8 candelas, and one candle is around 1 candela. So in theory, you're asking yourself, like, I should be able to see this, and the reason is like I said, the camera is exposed to those huge values outside. So if we place a process volume here, so there are other ways to expose different areas, but I'm just gonna do a quick and dirty way. So I place another post-process volume and exposure, yes. So the max EV, I'm gonna try like 8 or 9. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so now this volume is exposing the camera for a value that feels good for the interior. So now we can see that. So even if you put 1 candela, you can still see a little bit there. So this is behaving as expected. But then you have this problem, like the exterior is super overexposed. And I was talking to someone, actually. He gave this amazing talk, Fabian Christine. So he goes over the physical lighting workflow for Mirror's Edge, and they also have this problem. So the solution that they had for this, to have both outside and inside in a shorter range, was to divide the sun and sky values by 100. So you're basically limiting that range. So that's one of the solutions, like one of the workarounds, let's say. It's not really a solution, it's a workaround if you have this problem in your game. And the reason this happens is because the visible range in Unreal is actually very limited compared to what our eyes can do. So in a situation like this, our eyes would adapt to expose this area as well as that one, so that area wouldn't be as overexposed if this was our eyes doing this. But because with games we have these limitations, like we have to use these workarounds. And then you might be asking, so why even bother with physical lighting at this point? Because now you're kind of back to arbitrary values, right? But I think it's still easier to start from somewhere. Even if you're clamping the values or dividing or whatever, you're still coming from somewhere. You're not coming up with numbers out of nowhere. But yeah, as I said before, It's a very fun way to do lighting. It has its shortcomings too. If you want to learn more, I would highly recommend watching this talk here. It's incredible. Like, I learned so much from this. Very easy to understand, and yeah, this amazing knowledge. And the other one is you can look for Unreal Lighting Academy. I like extremely recommend this channel for learning lighting. I learned so much with this channel, like amazing tutorials. And he has this one on physical lights that he explains much more in depth than I can do, because he's a lighting artist. But yeah, that should give you enough knowledge to at least start from somewhere. And I'm sure by using this method, if it fits your pipeline, of course, you can get much nicer results than just the old method. Or even if you go back to the old method, at least you're gonna use this mindset. So yeah, it's if you want to take your lighting to the next level, definitely take the time to study how it works. And yeah, and lastly, and another suggestion too, you can look for, let's say, interior design lighting. And yeah, I watched this one before, and these ones, you know, they're gonna explain like what kind of light you want to have, and what's the color temperature depending on what you're trying to achieve, and the lumens and lux and stuff. Yeah, so that's it for this chapter.